Next, we are going to create a material master record for a trading good. This is section 5 of the notes. We'll go into logistics, materials management, material master, material, create special, trading goods MMH1. That took me a while to find that. And then we're going to click on that trading good to create that material that happens to be a trading good. We will enter in OLHT02 and then make sure it says retail and trading goods. Click on continue and we will click on basic data 1, purchasing, general plant data storage 1, and also accounting 1. We might need to toggle down in order to get there. And then we will click the green check mark. For plant, we'll enter in Miami MI02 and a storage location of TG02, which is for trading goods. We'll click the green check mark again. And then our description will be special edition Olympic helmet. I like to put my initials. Base unit of measure is each, EA. And material group is safety, which we can use the pull down box to get to safety. And then our gross weight, we put in an 8. And our net weight, we'll put in a 9. And if you're saying, that looks so wrong, guess what? Let's find out if our system is smart enough to tell us that. If we click enter, you can see that our net weight cannot be higher than our gross weight. And so now we'll click it again and we don't have that error message. And that's a type of reasonableness test that we have on that particular one. So now you should get a message that says OLHT02 was created. OLH02 was created. Now, I actually entered this in incorrectly, and so I'm going to show you a way that you can get in and extend your record by going into logistics, materials management, material master, material change. So if you go into OLHT and we select views, we can see that those other views are not there. So actually we'll go into OLHT02 and you'll see sometimes you have to fiddle around. So we'll go into that one and into the purchasing, general plant data storage 1, and also the accounting 1. And we'll click green check mark, plant MI02, storage location TG02, and we'll click on the green check mark, and you would get a message that the material already exists and will be extended. And so now we're on the purchasing tab. We're going to go into the purchasing group N02, and that's all we need to enter there. So we'll click enter button, and that brings us to the plant and data storage tab. We don't have to worry about anything on that one, so we'll click enter to go to the accounting tab. Our valuation class should be 3100. Our price is going to be a moving average price, and we can make sure that we have moving average price by clicking on this moving average price, and we'll put in the per unit price of 30 and click the save button. And you might get this message that says local currency converted to other currencies. Material OLHT 02 is created. And we can exit out of there. Next, we're going to create the vendor master record. We'll go into logistics, materials management, purchasing, master data, vendor, central, create, or XK01, and click on that, and you'll see it moves us over to business partner. Now make sure you change this to organization and click the green check mark. Then you want to enter in for business partner 7140 and the last two digits of your ID, and create it in the FI vendor FLVN00 new role. And the grouping should be external number assignment. Make sure you pick the first option or you will run into a problem. We now want to click on the address tab and put in a company title. We will put in Goodrich or your name, and we're going to just say Goodrich Helmets, and we'll put a 02 so you know that it's really me, and that you know what my number is. We'll put in a search term, and then we will go down to the street and house number, and you'll see that this is done in maybe a bit of a weird order, but the reason it's done this way is because it's done in more of a international feel of how this would go. So where the street might come first and the house number comes second, a postal code might come first in Europe, for example, and the city. And this is the type of thing that you could change if you wanted to, but does it really make any sense to do so? If we want to click to get into the language of English, you just click on that button I just clicked on. Click on English. And there's a little experiment where it tells you to put in EST instead of PST. So we can try that. And if we try to click enter, it will tell us it's not valid. And we would have to go back in and change it to PST. Now we can click enter, and it doesn't give us an error message. So here it gave us the correct one. It tied that to other information to make sure that it was accurate information. So that is a control within the system as well. We're going to click on the vendor general data tab and put in the external vendor number of 1140 and the last 2 digits of your ID. And then we're going to click enter. And we'll click on this company code button up here. And you're going to enter in your company code, US, and the last 2 digits of yours. Mine's 02. And then click enter. And then it's going to open up the reconciliation account, which we can use the pull down box to find the payables trade accounts. The sort key is 001, which is the posting date. So it will sort according to the posting date. And then we can click enter. In the vendor payment transactions tab, we'll click there, and then we can go in and do payment terms of 0001. And then our tolerance group is GBI. We'll click enter, and that should populate in. Now we can click the save button. And you should get a message that says business partner 7140 and the last 2 digits of your ID was created. Now stay where you are. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, and you'll see it's in display. We want to change to change mode. And once we go into change mode, we want to go into create in BP mode and pull down vendor purchasing. So it would be vendor purchasing FLVN01 new. And then you can see purchasing up here. It wasn't there before, but now it is. And our purchasing organization is US and the last 2 digits of our ID, not my ID, but yours. And we're going to click the enter button. In the purchasing data tab, and if you can't see this, click out of this area, and then you should be able to see it. You want to put in US dollars for order currency, payment terms 0001, and then you can save. And you should get a message that says changes have been saved. You should get a message that says changes have been saved. And then we're going to get out of there. We'll do a quick menu refresh, and next we will create an information record for the vendor and the material. So we'll go into logistics, materials management, purchasing, master data, info record, create. We're going to save that as a favorite. And we're going to go in and put our vendor that was generated in section 1.6. An easy way is to just use your search term, because you can see here this vendor is actually the one related to the accounting. And then we want to go into the material OLHT02. And we're going to put in the purchasing organization 0 US02 plant MI02, and we'll leave the information record blank and click the enter button. Under purchasing org data, we'll say that the planned delivery time should take 2 days. The purchasing group is N02. Our standard quantity will be 10, and our minimum quantity is 5. And then our net price is 30. How can this be a strong control in the process? Again, if we are buying less than that minimum, maybe it's going to cost us a lot of money. So we want to bake this into the process. So now we got a purchasing information record, and you should write that down. Purchasing info record 53 and all the zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 12 US 02 MI02 is created. Now there's going to be some transactions that we can use to check information in our accounts. And so one of those is MMBE. One of those favorites is also the line item journal, which is S_ALR _ 870 12291. There's also transaction FBL1N, which is the vendor line item display. And you might get, if you tried to go and check, do we have any stock in OLHT right now? You'll see we don't have anything, which should make sense because we haven't bought anything yet. So will we have any accounting transactions? No. And you'll see on page, on one of the pages of your notes, that it will ask you what are the different accounting transactions happening at each one of the stages. We can see that at MMBE, we don't have anything. On the line item journal, if we go and look at our company code for that, and execute that, we don't have any information there as well. And if we go into FBL1N and we look at all the items, we have no items there because we have not purchased anything from our vendors, and we have definitely not paid them either.